Witnessing someone push a massive dog out of a bus left a young man heartbroken. Determined to aid the distressed animal, he decided to intervene. Several weeks later, a remarkable miracle unfolded as a result of his compassionate act. In the vibrant city of Chicago, USA, resided a young man named James. After a tragic accident forced him to leave his home, he sought refuge in the bustling urban life. Nevertheless, amid the city's hustle and bustle, he often found himself yearning for the tranquil embrace of his countryside upbringing, nestled amidst rolling hills and filled with serenity. Fondly known as James, he stood out as one of the brightest minds among his peers during his formative years. Unlike most boys his age, he found joy in reading and took pleasure in helping out with household chores. His compassionate nature extended to his neighbors, and he readily offered his assistance to anyone in need. James was adored by everyone in his neighborhood, thanks to his warm and caring demeanor. In his younger days, he was accompanied by a faithful and loyal canine companion named Rocky, who had been his closest friend since puppyhood. Rocky was a constant presence by the young boy's side, except during school hours, providing him with boundless love and unwavering companionship. In their free moments, the boy and his furry companion would joyfully play in fields, embark on woodland adventures, and explore the nearby creek. Their inseparable bond brought immense joy to the young boy, and he never expected it to be cut short. Tragedy struck suddenly when Rocky, in pursuit of a squirrel, collided with an oncoming car, leaving the boy in shock. The driver's attempt to stop was futile, and the sickening thud of impact haunted the boy's memory. Despite rushed efforts to save Rocky, the outcome was heartbreaking, leaving James with a profound sense of loss. Memories of their shared happiness lingered, making it difficult for him to move on. Sleepless nights filled with tears followed, and the once vibrant boy lost his spark. He refrained from beloved walks that only reminded him of Rocky's absence. Though time began to heal his wounds, James never forgot his cherished friend. As life moved forward, he carried Rocky's memory in his heart. He started socializing again and even gathered the courage to ask his longtime crush to be his girlfriend. James loved Sarah deeply and even dreamed of marrying her. They were together for a year, and the young lover boy thought that they had a strong and loving relationship. However, one day Sarah told James that she had fallen out of love with him and that she wanted to break up. James was devastated once again. He couldn't understand how Sarah could just suddenly stop loving him. He begged her to stay with him, but she was firm in her decision. The young man was heartbroken and didn't know how to cope. He tried to distract himself by spending time with friends and family, but nothing seemed to help. Eventually, he realized his hometown had come to hold too many painful memories and decided that he needed a change. He chose to relocate to a different city to start afresh and leave behind all the memories of Sarah and Rocky. It was a scary decision as he had never lived on his own before and was unsure of what the future would hold, but he knew that he needed to do something to move on. James bought a small apartment in a new city and started to build a new life for himself. He got a job and made new friends, but he couldn't help but think of Sarah from time to time. He wondered if she had ever thought of him or if she had moved on completely. Years later, James went to visit his hometown. Everyone was happy to see him, but the positive young man they knew was now a shadow of himself. He no longer offered help like before and stayed home all day. One day he decided to take a walk down memory lane and visit some of his old haunts. He could never have guessed that this walk would change his life forever. Just as he was walking home, he witnessed something bizarre. A bus suddenly screeched to a halt in front of him. The bus door opened, and to James's surprise, a huge dog came running out. The bus driver didn't even wait for the dog to get clear before he slammed the door shut and drove off, leaving the poor pup behind. The dog ran after the bus and James followed. He shouted for the driver to wait, but he did not seem to hear him. After running some more, both the dog and the man got tired and stopped to catch their breath. The dog lay down on the road. Exhausted and scared, James was shocked and saddened by what he had just witnessed. He approached the dog slowly, not wanting to scare it away, but the pup was clearly frightened and wouldn't come near him. James tried to coax it with a snack he had stashed in his pockets, but the dog was too scared to eat. Feeling helpless, James sat down and spoke reassuring words to it. His voice seemed to calm it down a little, but the pup was still confused and distrustful. But it was getting dark, and the young man decided he couldn't leave that poor thing out there in the streets. So James carefully picked up the dog and carried it all the way home, talking softly to it to try and reassure it of his good intentions. Once they got home, he called the local animal shelter and reported what had happened, hoping to find the dog's owner. However, when they took it to the vet, they found out that the pup had no chip and therefore no contact details for its owner on hand. In the meantime, James made sure his new best friend was fed, warm and comfortable. He also printed and put up missing posters of the dog everywhere, including on the internet. For the next few days, the dog refused to eat even more than a few bites. He just laid down on one spot, whimpering all the time. James felt sorry for him. He could tell that the canine missed his owners. Over time, though, James and his family managed to win his affections, and in turn, grew attached to the huge dog. It had a friendly personality, and they all enjoyed playing with it and taking it for walks around the neighborhood, but they knew they couldn't keep it forever and hoped that its owner would soon come forward. Several weeks passed, and then a miracle happened. 4 weeks after the young man had found the dog, a beautiful lady graced the front door of James' family home. When she knocked, the dog started jumping about in excitement and ran toward the door. As soon as James opened the door, the massive pup leaped into the woman's arms, and tears streamed down her cheeks. He welcomed her into their home, and his mother prepared comforting chamomile tea while Linda, as she introduced herself, shared her heart-wrenching story. Her loyal companion, Buddy, had been a gift from her once loving boyfriend, Derek. However, as their relationship progressed, Derek's demeanor changed drastically. He became aggressive and quick to pick fights over trivial matters. One day, after a heated argument, Linda sought refuge at her parents' house, only to return the next day to retrieve Buddy and her belongings. To her dismay, Derek heartlessly informed her that he had abandoned Buddy far away, leaving her heartbroken. With immense gratitude, Linda thanked James for rescuing Buddy and providing him with a loving home. The two dog lovers bonded, exchanging contact information and becoming close friends. James felt a sense of accomplishment, having thwarted Derek's cruel plans and saved Buddy's life. Through this experience, he began to regain the cheerful, selfless nature of his youth, and he sensed that a new chapter was unfolding in his life. Please share your thoughts on the story in the comment section. We appreciate your feedback. I hope you liked this video. Please give it a thumbs up and consider to share it with your friends and family. Also subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss the update from our channel. Thank you.